What's up, gamers? I am Kaizoku with Kaizoku Gaming, and today I'd like to talk about Overwatch 2 and what I would like to see in the game. But before I get into that, I would really like to remind everybody about the giveaway that I'm doing for the Logitech G Pro wireless gaming mouse. It's going to end near the end of this month, so check out the description on how you can enter for that to have a chance to win it. It's the same mouse that I use, and I picked it out because I love this mouse, and it's just a really good mouse. So if you want to check out how to win that, just go ahead and check out the description below. And now, like I said before, though, Overwatch 2 is what this video is about, and it's something that I'm really excited for. And from what I can tell, it's going to have a lot of story-driven content and a lot of PvE content. So, with that said, it's something that I've been really wanting, and something that I'm sure a lot of you have too. I think Overwatch has a chance with Overwatch 2 to really get a lot of fans to the game. That, to be honest, I think Overwatch already has a lot of fans, and with how enticing Blizzard has set up the Overwatch lore already, and I think we will find that we have a lot of hidden fans that will come and enjoy our game because, and of course, a lot of those fans are fans that maybe we didn't know we had those fans in the first place because might not play the game. And so I know a lot of people personally that love Overwatch, and they enjoy its artwork, what little story the game already has, but they don't play the game because, to be honest, it's just mostly a competitive PvP game, and it doesn't really cater well to people that might want to enjoy more story or kind of engage in more PvE content. And of course, myself, I come from World of Warcraft a long time ago, and I mean, switching over to Overwatch, like, I really like Overwatch, but you know, that RPG sort of story PvE content, all that whole style and element is something that I really liked in a game. That's why I played WoW for so long. In any case, with all that said, let's go ahead and check out this video and see what I would love to see in Overwatch 2. So, like I said before, we already know that Overwatch 2 will be largely story-driven and expand upon that. So, as far as that goes, that's not really something that I'm going to go into length any longer in this video, since we already know that we're getting that. I'm going to focus on what I want that I'm not completely sure of, or that is sort of still a question mark to the player base. So with that said, the first thing that I'd like to see in Overwatch 2 is a guild system, clan system, community, squad system, whatever we want to call it. But a guild or clan system, I know this is something that a lot of people have said and asked for a lot, but I really think a clan or a guild system would do wonders for this game. I've put a lot of time into this game, and at this point I can honestly say that playing the game solo is really not the way to play Overwatch. The developers tried to remedy this with the group finder, but no one really uses it unless it's for waiting on your game to start. So the reason why they implemented the group finder still has not got the results that they wanted, and so the results that they did want was for more people to play together in groups, and I believe ultimately that's the way that they intended for the game to be played. I believe that giving the players the opportunity to create or join guilds, or whatever we want to call it, would do the trick. For the longest time I played Overwatch completely solo, and from what I can tell you from my experience is that can be rough if you intend to play solo all the time. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's a ton of people who completely experience and enjoy Overwatch this way, and that's fine, but I just feel like having a system like this in place would really help a lot of players. It doesn't have to be a requirement to join a guild or anything crazy like that, but at least there would be a way for people who want to develop or join communities, or at the very least, it just opens up a way for people to consistently queue up with people that they pretty much know will not throw their games or be toxic to them. And of course, toxicity is in Overwatch. That's a rant that I can completely go in another video about, but which Overwatch I believe still has a problem with that. Second thing that I would like to see in Overwatch 2 is an in-game tournament system. Think of this similar to how the arena system is in Hearthstone or other games, that they might have like a tournament system in place where let's say like it takes your SR into account for like maybe different leagues or skill ranges, but the tournament itself will not cause you to lose or gain competitive SR. My idea is that it would be like a weekend tournament system or a weekday, it doesn't matter, but where you could gather or recruit 5 other people and just sign up for the weekend's tournament and see how you do. Maybe you could develop a team and maybe some players would make this an entire way that you guys could play the game. Kind of like how scrims and normal tournaments work in Overwatch now, but in a more Blizzard official game implementation where this is sort of supported by the developers and by the company. I can honestly already start to think about how fun this would be and help the competitive aspect of the game even more. Plus, this system would get a lot of players a little more familiar with an esports-like system akin to something like how the Overwatch League has their stage and grand finals. It could be similar to, it could be a similar format to that, so that we could experience that without having to rely on just different discords or teams and how much their team players or captains have to, all the work that they have to go through in frustration to set all this stuff up unofficially, like we've had to in the past. You know, if you've wanted to play with a team or participate in a scrim or a tournament all this time so far, that's basically the kind of direction you had to go. And so I think something a little bit more supported by Blizzard would go a really long way. And the next thing I would really like to see in Overwatch 2 is just less, maybe not something specific, but more of like a general move toward or move away from less crowd control heroes, less CC heroes, and move away from like a less sustained type meta. They solved this with 2-2-2 with goats and stuff, but I just think that people can still abuse. Overwatch is a game where if you just have a lot of high health bodies and just a lot of healing on point on an objective, you just have such an advantage. And of course, eventually, the game just seems to turn into the meta where sustain heroes, especially those with like high health pools like Mei, Reaper, anything like that, where you just output a lot of healing, you have a lot of health, and you can take a lot of damage. Like that's always going to be, at least it seems like that's as of the past year or two, that's just always going to be what's the meta. But I don't think necessarily that's necessarily fun to play, because with goats, we saw with goats where, I mean, the meta lasted for like a dang year, and they finally had to implement 2-2-2 just to get rid of it. But I think we really saw the player base, just everybody who plays Overwatch saw that how overpowered high health and high healing outputs can affect the meta and just sort of affect the outcome of games. So I think that's a problem, and I would love to see a direction moved away from that. From heroes like Mei, Doomfist, Sigma. While I'm at it, let's just all agree that Baptiste's immortality field was not necessarily an all-welcomed ability to the game. But without sounding like I'm going on a tangent here, I think Blizzard's last few patches have definitely taken into account the ridiculousness of shields and CC in the game. Moreover, I think they understand that a faster-paced game and less emphasis on a sustained meta, where we have lots of health pools and large healing, isn't really as fun to play as a faster-paced Overwatch game. And the last patch certainly shows that at least they are trying, and at least they've noticed. So I'll give them that. But all in all, just less sustained, less crowd control effects, and a faster paced game would be something I would really like to see in Overwatch 2. And of course, speaking of meta, I think updates could happen a bit more frequently. Not a lot more, but definitely more frequently than having goats and double shield for the majority of a year or more. I used to love watching Jeff do his developer update for the game, and with them working on Overwatch 2, we haven't really seen much of that lately. And in regards to more frequently updates, what I don't want to see is another year of the same meta like we saw with goats, and right now it looks like double shield is going to be a part of that camp also. No one likes a stale meta, especially when it's one where you can use 6 ults in a given team fight and no one dies. Looking at you, goats. But double shield right now is still a bit too good, I think, because shields in the game are just really good, especially when you learn to manage them and pretty much just be generally downright annoying for a team to advance without taking major blows or deaths to your team in the process. So with all that said, if Overwatch guilds an in-game tournament system, a move away from sustain and CC heroes, and we get more frequent updates and developer communication, I think Overwatch 2, at least in my opinion, cannot possibly fail to be a great game, and in addition, a good addition to what we have now already. So don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you liked my video. Also, don't forget about the giveaway in the description for the G Pro mouse. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care.